Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross. I'm so blessed and honored to be here live in Nashville at the ATA Moving and Storage Conference, leading off a big day today with my good friend, Will Joyce Jr. from Joyce Van Lines. What's up, Will?
Thanks, everyone. Blessed to be here too, and it's an amazing day in Nashville. Get to finally have spring come and heck, try to make some figure out what's going on within all the chaos within the industry in the last while.
Yeah, there's a little bit going on these days, huh?
Oh man, a lot of it. But
Hey, who thought moving was boring, huh? Huh, John Pierce? Who thought moving was boring?
yeah, there was about like 10 years when I was younger when it was just the same thing every year. Nothing really changes.
Yeah.
But heck, ever since I got to have the pleasure of stepping up, it's been pandemic, supply chain crunch, and now heck, you have the stock market doing all kinds of wackiness.
Give us an update on the market because
Down 4% today.
down 4% today.
4%
What do you attribute that to, Will?
Uncertainty. I mean, that's going to be always the top thing that's going to mess with pricing and mess with really just how things work in general.
Yep, a lot of
You
uncertainty.
don't know what to do. Most people pause. Most people cut back. They play
Freeze. You freeze.
Yep.
Hit that like button. Get in the comments. Let us know who you are, where you are. Let us know what's going on from your perspective right now. What's going on in your world? I commented. I'm over here liking and commenting. Karen Gerba, what's up, Karen?
Hey, Karen.
Hey guys, glad you got on. Go Will. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, we had a little.
And also have to give a shout out. I have a extra little title, board member of SRRC. A great team there and a great
Okay,
event
you didn't
there.
have enough titles, huh? You didn't have enough jobs
Got
already,
whatever you
huh?
want. I've so many hats. Part of having your last name on the truck.
Go ahead and give the folks at SRRC a shout out. Tell people what that's
Shout
about.
out to Yola Harb and the rest of the whole board. It's a corporate relocation council based out of Florida. We just had our event in Fort Lauderdale the other week.
Was that your big national event, or like not national, but your
two main conferences
conference?
per year,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. Everything went perfect, and the whole team killed it.
Yeah. Nice. Hey, what's up, Jack Jampel? Hi, guys. What's going on, Jack? Hey, Jack, you still basking in that Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl victory?
Oh man.
Sheesh. Daisy Sinclair checking in. Hey, I love that you're live from Nashville.
I know.
Yes, Haw. That's a new
It's
one.
supposed to say hee-haw.
No, it's very it's correct grammar. Yes, Haw.
Yes, all.
It's proper grammar. That's great. Has anyone have you hit Nashville yet? Did you hit downtown, hit Broadway at all yet?
I haven't got to hit Broadway, but I did get to go out for some amazing steak last night.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
man. Nashville, the restaurants here are amazing, and I cannot wait to take a vacation here sometime soon.
Yeah, right. When you're not working. So when you're hitting these sessions, you know, you're kind of a student of the game here. Shout out to Jake Lowry. We need a Nashville hot reveal from Ben. Oh, I will tell you about. Yeah, stick around, and I will tell you a funny Nashville hot chicken story that happened to our team.
Oh,
You
man.
might have seen it on our Instagram stories. I'm gonna tell all. Laura Benjamin.
Laura.
Hey guys, what's up,
How's
Laura?
it going?
Hey, Laura. So tell us a little bit about what you're learning here at the conference, Will.
For
Give us
me,
a rundown.
It's mainly staying on top of trends, and the ATA is amazing at breaking down the current economic environment and what's going on in DC and what's not going on in DC and where likely it's going to go.
Where is
the way
it
it's
going to go, you think?
Well, hopefully taxes are going to go down. I mean, knock on wood there, but at the same time, with tariffs and everything in place, it looks like there's a solid chance, even if inflation doesn't hit the broad scale things,
Yeah.
if it hits lumber, if it hits steel, metal, and all those things, we're going to get.
Oh,
whacked again.
remember a couple of years ago when lumber was going crazy and
Oh,
lift
man.
fans and
My
stuff?
vaults were worth like as much as the warehouse itself for like a brief week or two.
Yeah, you couldn't afford to put
There's a
used
solid chance
furniture
to
in
be right
in
back.
wood. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean that would kind of suck if that
Oh, yeah.
happened.
That's probably at least my own top worry is that that's a high piece of potential, but at the same time, it's an uncertainty because tariffs are on one day, off the next.
Do you feel like the COD market is going to come back for everybody? Cash and delivery, it means basically consumer moving. Do you
Yeah.
feel like consumer moving is coming back, or what are
Yeah.
your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely there, and I see it as likely one of the stronger points in a spot where moving overall has just been down for a good long while. COD specifically, even if the economy tanks a good bit, with interest rates being as high as they are, there being a lot of pent-up demand, those will likely drop from there being any economic issues, likely causing at very least the consumer side to, if anything, possibly even start moving a little more.
Yeah, I think we've hit the bottom on the COD side. I think it's going to rebound. It needs to come back quick, but
Oh, yeah.
I think actually this whole return to office thing
That's
that we're
another big
seeing,
trend I'm seeing a lot of.
I think that's going to really increase reloads. I think it's going to take a minute because I think the first thing that's going to happen is people unfortunately are going to get laid off or downsized who are remote. And then they're gonna have to rehire people, and they're gonna have to hire them local, or they're gonna have to move people to local. And I think that's gonna be a huge tailwind for us in the corporate relocation
Oh, yeah.
space.
The corporate relocation side is looking the rosiest of the three main markets of military, corporate, and COD.
We're gonna move this up move that up your
Okay.
lapel a little bit here, or on the center if you want. Yeah,
There.
there we go.
All right. But yeah, it's looking like, yeah, for the next while, corporate probably is going to be the strongest of the big three. Government and military is definitely the weakest, at least from what I've seen.
Oh, really?
That's a spot where it seems like utter chaos right now. I mean,
Well, I mean, okay. Is it weakest from a volume standpoint within the old
well,
DPS
is
program, or
it
is
really
it?
volume, or is it volume with air quotes?
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Moves that aren't getting serviced in the middle of the winter. I mean,
Yeah. So they're tendering moves, but they're not actually getting service, and then they're going. So there's like a big hole. So a lot of people don't know this about what's happening in the military market. Yeah, you may have heard of GHC, but what you may not know is, to Will's point, half the moves that are being awarded under the new program as they're starting to ramp up are not actually getting serviced by movers.
yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yep. And
So where do they go then if they're not serviced by movers? People gotta move. You need military readiness.
Oh yeah, well that's a big part of the problem is there's a lot of service failures going on, at least from everything I've seen, everything I've heard from talking to people inside and outside the program. It seems like they're having a lot of issues scaling, and I wish them the best, but they're kind of hamstrung just with what they got.
Yeah, so where they're ending up, when I've been hearing, so I've been looking at these Facebook pages and stuff. So what I'm
Yeah.
hearing is they're going into the GHC program, they're not getting service there, and then they're forced to do PPMs, personally
Yeah.
procured moves.
PPMs, or it gets last minute thrown into the DP3 system.
Yeah, hit that
Yeah,
like button,
short
get in the
fuse.
comments, let us know what you're seeing out there. Talk to us a little bit about that. What does that mean? How would that work?
Short fuse is just a move that has less than 2-week lead time. At least that's how I've always seen it. So GHC is originally awarded the move. They have to kick it back because they can't cover it, and then that ends up being a short fuse in the old system.
Oh, yeah, because it takes several weeks for them to figure out that they can't cover it. So they don't give it back until it's like
Last minute. Hey,
Last
by the
minute.
way. And
What impact does that have to service members and their families, though?
it's brutal. I mean, heck, it's already one of the top 3 most stressful times in anyone's life. It's
Yeah.
like a very tough spot for families, and these are normally families with a good few kids. The husband or wife may be busy and with active service.
Yeah. And you know,
Sorry, I stole the camera.
oh, you stole the camera. Hold on, man. Hold on. Put your hand up. Do the hand first. He's got to undo it first. You got to undo it. Hand up by your head. Yep. Now move it, Joe. And stop. Nope. Less me.
Sorry,
Up.
everyone. It's a little bit of Italian.
There you go. It's the Italian. Just blaming the Italians, huh? Will?
The hand motion. I won't do it again.
Joe's not gonna help us if you blame the Italians. Scooch just a hair over here towards
If you
Will.
want me to be quiet, you just gotta tie my hands behind my back.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, there we go. How are we looking out there? Can you hear us? Are we looking okay?
Oh,
No, we can't even. I can't even with this. It's like the AI. There's AI in the camera, and it's like fighting against me. It's like, no, Will looks better than you. I'm gonna get more Will. Oh my gosh, I didn't ask your opinion, camera. Yeah. So okay. So we got COD. We're hoping for COD coming back. What's your feeling on the corporate market? We talked a little bit about return to office, but I mean, are you seeing anything yet from a volume standpoint, or what?
Looking way more resilient than other markets, especially with return to office being more of a thing, and with things that, knock on wood, it looks like everything's kind of bottomed out at this point, and at least it's not getting worse. Between that and return to office, I mean, things could pick up in theory. There's a lot of good hope, but I hate to run off of hope.
Yeah, for real. So from running a business standpoint, is it invest now stage, or is it hold and wait and see?
I think there's a lot of opportunities to fight. There's definitely going to be a need for efficiency. That's probably the top thing. Uh, but with all the chaos all around, there's a lot of opportunity. And within the last while, it's looked like a few good major players have dropped out of the space.
Yeah, yeah. We're seeing people that are obviously MSI ceased operations a couple weeks ago. They were my first client when I got in this business. Their first RMC that took a chance on me when I was at a container company. So I had a lot of fond memories of going up to New Hampshire, and they folded. Along with that,
There's a few auto groups collectively. I heard 2 different ones in like a course of like a week.
Yep.
Total chaos in
Our
that
friends at ReloTrans were kind of impacted tertiarily by that MSI thing, and then they got absorbed by Paramount, by PTS. And then I think Jack Cooper went out of business. They were a big auto shipper. They had a little bit of business in our space, but I think a lot of that business from the Relo side had already migrated out. So really interesting what's going on. We saw I think it was McAllister's bought M. Razak, if I did I say that right, out of St. Louis recently.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see some more of that type of stuff going on.
It was said at WERC that there's going to be a lot more condensing. I'll only use my hands.
Yep.
Within the industry and space, and that's a very likely part of it all.
Yeah. Put your comments in there. What do you think is going to happen with consolidation and stuff? Karen's saying volume. She says it's centered now.
Yeah.
Karen, what does that mean?
The economic side, I was seeing that where the chart dropped down a good deal at first from the presentation earlier today. It really was relatively level after that. So it definitely seems like it's at a stable point. It's just about where it goes from here and kind of who breaks first when it comes to the excess capacity that's currently still there.
Yep. Yeah, super interesting. Mike Quigley checking in says capacity isn't the I can't service it issue. It's I don't want it, I'm guessing. What do you think about that comment?
All right, well, can't talk about rates. Rule number 1. But
yeah,
I don't gotta say much. If a move's not getting serviced,
there's a reason.
March,
if trucks are sitting around and a move's
Yeah.
not getting serviced, what does that tell you?
and also,
I talked to a mover
there's
before.
a secondary question of what's gonna happen in the summer. That's the real terrifying thing.
Well, hopefully, at least trucks won't be parked. I mean, I was talking to a mover before I came here, and they were supposed to attend, and just last minute said I can't come. I'm digging out of. First of all, they were left holding some receivables, some AR from that RMC going out of business, which could
all
really
your
suck.
spot.
Yeah, so you
Been
got to
there
write that
before.
down. Yep, and then. And then they're like, I got trucks parked all over the place, not running right now. So I'm writing off receivables. I don't got volume for my trucks right now. They serviced a lot of military shipments in the past, and they're not for whatever reason. And he's like, I got to dig out of this. I can't even go to the conference. I can't even see all this year. And I was like, dang, like it's mission critical for that person, and they're independent, of size.
Oh yeah. It's one of those things where we had I like to consider a comparable scenario back when Servo almost bought Cardis. Because at the time, Cardis was over half of our work. And we were sitting there like, well, is this the end? What's going to happen next? But in a weird way, the pandemic was a very lucky break for us there. And
Yeah.
heck,
Yeah, it's funny. The pandemic
Middle
was
of
like
Europe.
2 of the best years ever in the moving and relocation
Oh yeah.
industry.
And Servo ended up buying up the one RMC I've never got a chance to do any work with.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think the pandemic kind of, and Jack, I'm going to get you your point. And Marco, what's up, Marco from SYC and
Ship your car now. Sync.
Ship Your Car
They're
Now.
amazing.
Nice. And then Kara said, I actually meant the video picture was centered, not the economy. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate you. I had a point. I was in the middle of making a point. It was a good point. It was a quality point. Actually,
Talking about return to office.
that's Nashville. Yeah,
Going back
let's
to
get to Jack. Let's get to Jack. Jack says if return to office looks like a returning trend, it will take many, many years. Many, many years, Jack. Why do you say many, many years? I mean, they put out an edict saying Jan 1 you're back, or March 1 you're back. I just saw a I just saw a notice that Goldman Sachs was telling their employees they have to move to Dallas or to Salt Lake City.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Goldman's got some money, so they should have a decent program. So I mean, all those Manhattanites gonna end up moving to Dallas. Jill, you think a bunch of people living in Manhattan are gonna move to Dallas and work for Goldman in Dallas? I got a strong maybe from Jill,
You're going to end up with
who's in the
even
know.
more out-of-towners in Texas.
I don't mind. Hey, I already bought in. I'm good. I got my money in good.
Yeah, true.
Get my house. Get my. Oh, we got desserts coming in.
Oh,
What are these? Thank you, Daisy Sinclair.
have some nice banana
Banana
pudding shots on a good Greek.
with a
Thank you.
Nilla wafer here.
I'm just trying it as well. Cheers.
Oh, that's nice. That's quality.
Already ate a wafer.
Jill's bursting my bubble. Says artificial banana.
It's so amazing.
That's fresh off a tree right there. Don't believe the hype. Oh, this is fantastic.
And I agree, Jackson. It's going to take a while. What was it?
Yep. Hey, we got to stop eating banana pudding because we got a VIP coming on here in a second. We've got the illustrious executive director of the ATA's Moving and Storage Conference, Dan Hilton, heir to the Hilton fortune, coming on. Oh, no, scratch that. Sorry. This is actually not real news. This is entertainment. Come on over here, Dan. Thanks so much, Will. Appreciate you being here.
Have a good one, everybody.
Take your banana pudding that's on the house, courtesy of Good Greek. Oh, hey, Will, come back. You got the mic, buddy. Yeah, Will's still mic'd.
Take that to the bathroom.
There we go, Dan. It's not his first rodeo. Have a seat, Dan. How you doing? It's good to have you on the program, Dan. Yeah, lean in here. Yeah, we're enjoying Nashville. This is
Good,
great. You guys
yeah.
put a great show on.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all you, right?
No, it's not all me. It's a
Oh.
huge team at ATA that puts a lot of work into this. From marketing, you've worked with,
Yeah.
Our meetings and events team, they go above and beyond. Couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, they are great. Actually, can you want to scoot in a little bit? Let's make it awkward. Let's get closer.
Yeah.
If our thighs aren't touching, we're not trying. That's what we say on Love and Reload. No, sorry, that's a serious program. No, so tell us a little bit about what ATA is doing for the moving and storage industry.
ATA, they are a large federation with a lot of resources. For example, just this morning, we all woke up to one of our panelists had to decline. He had a family emergency. So one of our lobbyists, Sean Garcia, who's essentially assigned to MSC out of our Hill office, stepped in on like a half hour's notice.
Yeah.
So we gave a fantastic Hill update. Talked about the razor thin margins going on in the House and the Senate. They work, every day. The relationships that they have when we go into the Hill offices. We went there with a few of our officers in February, and the staff in the Hill office has relationships with virtually everyone that's out there, and that's a huge asset and a benefit to the moving and storage industry.
Why do movers care if they're represented on Capitol Hill?
Well, as we all, no matter what the industry is, the decisions they make inside the Capitol building impact every business and every business owner. A lot of times they're very. I don't think there are any former movers. There's maybe one or two truckers that are in Congress, but if they don't know the industry, they certainly didn't work in the industry. They don't know it.
Right.
They have to get to know it, and they have to be informed, and that's what advocates like us do.
What are some of the issues that y'all are really advocating for right now?
Sure. Well, really, it's about three of them, I would say. Obviously, the global household goods contract. Watching that closely, we were successful getting a GAO report into last year's Defense Authorization Act. So
real quick, I want to understand what that is,
Sure.
because there's some people out there that are more on the relocation side maybe and don't understand, or we don't deal on the government side very much. So what is a GAO report?
Sure.
And why is it important?
The GAO is the Government Accountability Office. It used to be called the Government Accounting Office, which was more confusing, but it's the Government Accountability Office, and they are an investigative arm of the House of Congress, both the House and the Senate. So, a provision was written into law. It was in the House-passed version of the NDAA for them to look into the global household goods contract. So, like I said, there are third-party investigators and auditors that look under the hood at the program.
That's huge. I mean, that's all anybody's talking about right now is the GHC. I mean, it's literally the largest customer in moving, and accounts for, some say maybe as much as 3 billion in spend, per year. It's massive. And so you're telling us the GAO is going to audit or investigate this now?
Well, they're looking into how the program is being run. Interestingly, if you look at a lot of the cuts that DOGE has been looking into and trying to make, that's directly from a list that GAO puts together. So I would encourage folks to go to I want to say it's gao.gov. Don't quote me.
Yeah, somebody look that up and throw it in the comments here, what that link is, so we can all check it out.
But they, they are, they look at, the spending of the U.S. government and where savings can be found. Programs are being run well, and again, where they can be changed. They don't set law, but the recommendations that they often make can be turned into law by Congress.
Yeah, super interesting. Get in the comments here, hit that like button. Let us know what you're thinking about right now in terms of the moving industry, in terms of government, maybe the economy. People are commenting here. Jack Taylor, what's up from Canada? The thing about demand is that it's still determined by disposable income. When that returns, the COD market will flourish. Yeah, except in like certain markets where people have to move, right? I mean, the military market is the number one that comes to mind. If you get orders and you got to report to a duty station, you got to go.
Yeah.
They call it a RDD, a required delivery date, for a reason, right? And so if we're not meeting those, I mean, that compromises the military readiness of our country and ability to do what we got to do. So, that's why the moving industry has kind of been built on, military and government moves, corporate relocation, again, where your employer is saying you got to go somewhere, where COD is a little bit more, consumer moving is a little bit more fickle, to your point, Jack. What are your thoughts on kind of the different mixes of the business and how, what are your constituents kind of telling you that they're expecting kind of from an economic outlook this year?
Well, and I just had this conversation with Transports Topics, but listening to the economist this morning, I mean, looking at what's happening in the market today, and that's just one snapshot, but they are uncertain times, to say the least. We know there's a lot of pent-up demand in housing that folks want to move, but as the economist said this morning, who wants to move off of that 2 3/4 interest rates with their mortgage? So it is a challenging time. I think a lot of the companies in there are a lot of the our independent movers. Speed Monitoring talked a lot about diversification. I think that's essential now. To if one segment is down, you have to look at what's up.
Yeah, Jack's saying it'll take a market cycle after the inflation is over to reset, maybe
Sure.
two. Get in the comments here, ask your questions. Jack's saying that's why diversification is key for client portfolio. Jack, I'd love to know where you're diversifying and what you're getting into. Marco says Will's looking good and Ben's outfit's on point as always. Marco, you're always so astute. We appreciate the commentary. Stephen Meyer has a question. He says, what has ATA done for the household goods industry?
Sure. Well, as I just mentioned, they saw passage of the GAO report. A couple of weeks ago, we had one of our members had testified before the Senate Commerce Committee on cargo theft, not just household goods theft, but cargo theft in general. This is really a first that Congress has really dove into this topic.
Cargo theft has been going crazy.
Yeah.
I've been hearing about this from all my buddies on the freight side. Like, they're jacking a lot of cargo out there.
Yeah, and sadly it's not until it happens to someone in the Senate where they have someone they know has been defrauded by a rogue operator.
Yeah.
But they're starting to realize that. We've had some success. The House, shortly after our call on Washington in September, the House passed the Household Goods Consumer Protection Act that had to be reintroduced.
That's really exciting for me because we've been seeing a lot of rogue operators on the household goods side, with these running these, Google ads, $5.99 long distance move, and you get in there and it's a broker, and they're like, oh, I got a truck in your area and I'll knock $100 off. And then they get you on the truck and all of a sudden they jack the price way up and hold your goods hostage. Yep. And put it in a warehouse. You don't know where it is and all that stuff. And they've actually been, a lot of what they're doing is actually technically compliant because they're not giving a a binding estimate because they didn't walk the home because they didn't have to because they're located over 75 miles away or 100 miles away. So per the regulations, they're somewhat operating, although not ethically, maybe within the letter of the law. But it's good to hear that the government is actually revisiting some of this stuff. Are you hopeful that we can start to curb some of these rogue operators?
I am hopeful, but as you said, this has been going on for so long. It'll be difficult to see how we tackle it. But yeah, as long as now the attention is being paid, we're very happy to see that. We also want to do more. We have our own website, move.org or moving.org.
Yep.
That we are looking to educate the consumers better. They need to know not to take the lowest
bid, yeah.
Rock bottom lowest bid.
Low ball, yeah.
They need to get multiple bids. If that person doesn't come into their home, they need to be suspicious of that. A lot of this education could be done, but so we want to help the consumer.
I would love to see, because it just feels like anybody out there can call themselves a mover, right? You can just get a T-shirt printed and you're a mover, whether you're loading a rental truck, a container, or you're actually a licensed, interstate commerce carrier, right? Like, I feel like when I look at like what NAR has done for realtors, like realtor, is a registered trademark.
Yeah, agree.
It's like, how do we, is there ever going to be a day in this country where mover, is a registered mark? Then in order to be a quote unquote mover, you have to be, certified or registered or licensed. So we can be like craftsmen, like electricians and plumbers and realtors and things of that nature.
Well, I think that's a double-edged sword, because a lot of industries, when you get too strong of licensing requirements, it creates a lot of barriers to entry.
Yeah.
So I think we have to be careful what we're asking for. We certainly want to keep out rogue operators. Ultimately, they're not joining their industry's trade association, so we can fairly confidently say they are not members of ours, because they're not
Right.
joining MSC. So it's not difficult to attack those that are doing that, because they're not working within the lines ethically, nor are they joining their industry's trade association.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. We got people checking in here. Jack's got some interesting ideas around diversification. We were in a session where we were doing the speed mentoring, and we talked about diversification. And you hear a lot about people getting to senior moving. I'm seeing a lot of folks focusing on commercial moving. I'm kind of curious, when you start getting out of just pure household goods, how does an association like ATA MSC start to like support those other kind of like different adjacent kind of moving?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, partnering with folks like realtors, National Association of Realtors, partnering with, there's a lot of senior groups out there to help, advance our members and the good work that our members do.
Yeah, we got one more question here, and then we're gonna let you go, because I know you're a busy guy here. Okay, all right, let's see here. We got Stephen Meyer as a question. He says, "How does an owner operator join ATA MSC? Is there a place for the driver, for the owner operator?"
That's a great question. It is more trucking companies and moving and storage companies versus the driver. I'd be happy to look into that and talk offline.
Yeah. All right. I said it was the last question, but I want to know what's in this banana pudding, because it's delicious.
Yeah.
Have you tried it yet?
I haven't.
Okay. Later. Dan, thank you so much
Thanks.
for being with us.
It was fun.
Hey, we got Jake Lowry coming up here from Smurf at West Rock. Jake, get over here. Jake used to work with me, so I can talk to him like
No
that.
problem.
Thanks, Dan Hilton, Executive Director, ATA MSC. Get on over here, buddy. Come on, Jake. Yeah, talk loud, Jake.
Never been a problem before. I don't
Yeah,
think.
move up. I need you to move up,
Get a
man.
little
Yeah, get closer.
to you.
Get
All
closer.
right, here we are.
Hey, everybody. Jake Lowry here. Jake, tell us who you're with.
I'm with Smurfit West Rock Packaging Solutions, aka Victory Packaging, for those who don't know about our new name.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Now you do know.
Yeah.
We are officially, as of January, Smurfit West Rock Packaging Solutions. It rolls off the tongue.
Not only that, but you're also like the largest packaging solutions provider in the world?
In the world. We are
In the
now-
whole wide world?
Yes.
I heard it was
Whole
something like
wide world.
$40 billion company or something.
40 billion. That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what they say. It's a lot more than my money. But
Yeah.
That's okay.
How
I'd
much
like
of
to
that
get
you
'em.
seeing there, buddy?
You know, but that's okay. We're out here. We are no, but in all seriousness, we are now the biggest
That's
corrugated
cool.
manufacturer in the world.
That's
It was
fantastic.
a-
And you're not just doing corrugate and packaging too. You're offering other types of solutions, aren't you?
Absolutely. We do kitting, distribution, all that stuff, final mile. We can do anything and everything, man. We do a lot with the kitting side of things.
Wow.
The kitting side.
That's really cool. So what's it been like when you have a brand like Victory that's so well known? I mean, Victory has just been one of those staple brands in the moving space, Victory Packaging. And now you roll out this new brand that, is very well known in Europe.
Sure.
WestRock's been pretty well known here on the paper side for a while. But what's it like trying to like roll that brand out to folks?
I think the initial response was a little bit of hesitation or maybe concern because, like you said, big name. It's sort of the packing mafia, if you will, since 1970, whatever they started the year.
Yeah.
And so I think there was some concern, but I think that what we've found is that it's frankly doesn't really matter what we're called. I think people will understand that we provide a service and we try to do it to the best of our ability. So I've been telling people, call us whatever you want as long as you call us.
Yeah. Besides the cool new name and all those desk calendars that are going to be going out,
Right.
what is the value to the client with this new change?
The value to the client is purely footprint. We had, again, it was a happy marriage, right, with the European and the North American footprints. We are now joined up so that we can create essentially packaging solutions for anyone in the continental United States or around the world, really. So the benefit is just purely our ability to reach anyone and everyone.
So what was that conversation like when the ATA called you and said, Jake, we're going to come to Nashville. We want you to host it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They said we need you to save the world
Yeah.
right now, one box at a time.
So Jake and I worked together in Detroit at a moving company up there for about maybe a year, and now I get to watch him be so successful, slinging these boxes out here, you know.
That's right.
And so cool to watch you grow up and do all these cool things. I mean, in this business and just continue this career. I know your family's from this business, you know, so it's really cool. Like, what's that mean to you, kind of like having your family, you know, being in this business?
Yeah, it means a lot. You know, moving is something near and dear to my heart. You know, obviously coming from moving, this was a very, very good segue to kind of get out of the business but still be in it. So it's been great, and I've had nothing but positive things to say about you, about all my other mentors, my bosses, everything like that. I've been so fortunate. So it's just such a great spot to be, man.
Hit that like button, show Jake some love here, and throw your packaging questions in the comments. We're not going to hold our breath here, but
That's right.
if someone has a box joke or something like that they want to put in there.
That's right.
But y'all are more than just boxes, though. What else do you sell to movers?
Man, we do equipment. I think that's the biggest piece that
What
people don't
equipment? When you say
realize.
equipment, like what
We
does that
got
mean?
dollies, four-wheelers, appliance dollies, anything that you might need, lift vans, vaults, anything that you would need to move somebody anywhere in the world, we can offer you. So
Okay.
I think the equipment piece is the biggest thing that people they say, oh, you're the box guy. What? We're more than that.
Yeah, and you have lower minimums than some of the other providers too, I think.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, we've got $750 minimum for delivery, $250 minimum for driver pickup. Pretty much service in every metro area 3-4 days a week, if not every day.
You know, when I think about innovation and doing things differently in the space, you think there would ever be a day where like somebody might say, hey, I'm going to move myself, but I'm going to order my boxes from Smurf at West Rock, and y'all drop off like a skid assorted at their house, you know? And maybe they cube it themselves. They go on Yembo or whatever. They get it cubed up. They say, okay, you need 25, you know, mediums. You need like 10 small. You need, 15 large, whatever. You need some wardrobe, blah, blah. And then boom, it's like, okay, buy now. And then Jake's over there like dropping them off for you.
Yeah, well, I think, frankly, I think I would have to be the one dropping those off in that case, but that's okay. I'll do whatever it takes to get business, baby. I'm there.
I can just see that because, I mean, there's so much moving is done by consumers nowadays.
Absolutely.
You know, I just think that I think that would be super interesting. Yeah. People get in the comments here. Jack Taylor says, he's talking about accreditations for movers. Said, Feedy does accreditations. There needs to be education about it. Yeah, that has to drive demand for sure. All my local marketing is dedicated to educating about scams and what to look for. People loved it and found it helpful. We need more of that. When you were on the moving side, Jake, selling moves and operating moving companies, how did you handle the whole conversation about rogue operators?
Well, I think it's a sensitive subject, right? Because it's one that always kind of gets asked, you know, how do I know you're legitimate rather than, you know, I think the first question.
So they would have questions for you.
Sometimes, yeah. And then sometimes it's more educating them on, hey, you know, if you've gotten other quotes, are you using a broker? Are you using, you know, are you directly with the company, online, independent, whatever it is? I think once you start asking the questions, then they realize they may not be working with who they thought they were. And I think
what are like some of the things that you would tell them to look for?
Well, we all know, number one, we don't want to go with a broker, right? That's.
But how do people even know if it's a broker?
It's a great question. I think most people don't know that it's a broker.
They don't
until
know.
They're educated.
So what I do automatically is I tell everybody to Google the name of the company and the word SAFER, SAFER. And if you do that, it will take you to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration's SAFER website, SAFER, and you can do a motor carrier lookup and you can see if they are a carrier or if they are a broker. And if they're a broker, I would say do not use them, with the one caveat that all RMCs are brokers.
Yes.
They all operate when they're broker authority. So if your company's paying for it and they're going through one of these big RMCs, that's kosher.
Yes.
But other than that, you do not want to deal with a broker.
Absolutely.
I'll say second, they should offer you the opportunity to come to your home.
Yes.
If they're not offering you the opportunity, I'm not saying you got to take it, but they should have the capability of coming to your home.
Absolutely, yeah. The virtual surveys serve a great purpose. They're very convenient, but I still don't think there's anything like going and sitting down across the kitchen table with somebody and explaining moves and answering questions.
And looking at all their pieces and like what they have and how to take care of it and educating them about what you're going to do and how you're going to prepare the home.
That's right.
You know, I think that's definitely important. The other thing I would say, and the last thing I would say about it really, is if you're doing the domestic U.S. move, if it's local, it's going to be hourly. But if it's long distance and they're quoting you in cubic feet, that's a major red flag.
That's right.
Because most reputable movers will quote interstate moves based on weight. And they do a constructed weight based on the volume of your shipment. So ironically, they are converting it from cubic feet, but to pounds. The reason that they want to try to quote you in cubic feet is because you can't substantiate the cube.
Correct.
You can weigh a truck empty and you can weigh a truck full, and you can deduce what the weight of it is with weight tickets on certified scales that you can see and even observe by law. But a cubic feet of a truck, if you just throw everything on the floor, you could take the whole truck up.
That's right.
You know? So those are just a few things that I would say you want to look for.
I'm in agreement. Absolutely.
Man, bringing me back to Detroit, man.
Back to the old days,
I'm ready to go
baby.
talk to customers.
That's right. Let's go sell some moves.
Let's get this kitchen table,
Heck
man.
yeah.
Sure, I'll have
Who's moving?
some coffee.
Where are you moving from and where are you moving to? Let's
What
go.
was so you spent a couple years going into the home and quoting moves. So you were on the front lines.
I was.
What's the craziest thing you saw in somebody's house?
I had the craziest move
I'm gonna get my pudding out for this.
Nothing necessary. It was a hoarder house. We'll call it that. Let's just call it a hoarder house. I went into this move and maybe I shouldn't say this, but
Oh no.
My goal was to price myself completely out of the move.
You were trying not to win it.
I was trying not to win it.
Why?
Because I did not think that our drivers and crews would want to enter the hoarder home.
So what happened?
Well, I quoted it.
Everybody else was quoting it like that too.
Quoted it at 100% SMF or whatever they called it.
The markup, the margin.
And the margin. And to my surprise, I got the call that they wanted to go ahead and move forward. So all we could do was say okay and just inform everybody. Everything went off without a hitch.
That's funny.
But that's one of the worst I've ever seen.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it was. That's one of my favorite stories for sure. I think I was the only one to ever sell a move at 100% SMF.
So we worked together, right? And so there was this cat that we worked with, Angelo. Shout out to Angelo Martini, right? This cat, Ange, right? And so Ange was in the house one time, and he was like, he cubed the house. It was going really well. I mean, Ange was this really charismatic dude. He's great, right? and he's at the island in the kitchen, right? And it's going really well. He's got good rapport. He's about to sign the paperwork on this. He's going to close right at the kitchen table. That's what he tells us sales reps.
That's
to do.
right.
So he's like, all right, let's go over this paperwork. He leans on the marble island, and a corner of the island just drops off. It just breaks off. He broke the marble countertop.
Rookie mistake.
Right when he was about to, and he's like, and he swears that thing was glued on there from before, but they tried to stick with him. Dude, Bill and Elise, the owners of the company, were like, we're not paying it. And they're just like, well, we got to do something for him. It's like, it was
crazy.
It was tense.
That's
it was
funny.
tense. Yeah.
So do you remember what happened or no?
I
Just
think that I think it ended up coming out of Andrew's commission, to be honest with you.
Somebody had to pay.
Somebody had to pay it. It's never gonna be. Never gonna be that one.
So lesson learned: when you're in your house, COD salespeople don't lean on the counter.
To this day, my kids be on the kitchen counters, and I'm like, "Yo, you need to take it easy on that granite. That granite's gonna snap on you, and I'm gonna take it out of your Christmas money."
That's right.
Oh
my! Granite's not cheap.
That granite ain't cheap, man. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh yeah.
No, we're having a great time in Nashville, man. What a conference so far.
All right, we're gonna do a quick. Overrated, underrated. About Nashville.
Okay.
All right, here goes. Overrated, underrated. Hot chicken.
Personally overrated.
Personally overrated. Why?
I'm just not a huge hot chicken guy. Now, if you're going to get hot chicken, get it in Nashville.
Yeah.
And where's the spot in Nashville to get it?
Princess.
Princess. Why Princess?
Hot chicken. That's the OG, the original.
The originator.
Originator.
Who told us Bolton? Well, somebody not from here told us Bolton's. We went to Bolton's. You ever been to Bolton's?
I've not been to Bolton's.
Bolton's advertises itself as the hottest hot chicken in Nashville, and they are not lying.
My recommendation, one recommendation of wherever you're going to get your hot chicken, if it's in Nashville, do not get over mild. You will regret it. I promise you will. And trust me, mild is not mild. It's much worse.
So Daisy got a medium, Jilly got a medium, Adrian got a medium. I got a mild. I got mild and I got light mild.
So, and you were still sweating.
There were shades of mild here. That's what's funny. Yeah, I got light mild and I was like tripping, and they were like about to go to the hospital.
Yeah, they were crying.
It ruined Daisy's day. I put it on my reels. It was so funny. It's on Instagram now. Yeah.
I will say, terrible choice in food before a night of drinking. I will say.
Oh, I had to go right
Could've been
home.
very
I was like,
bad.
we're getting this Uber. Yeah, we're going home. Yeah, So all right, so hot chicken overrated. I don't hate that call. Honestly, I like hot chicken. I don't hate it. You know what I really like though? I like it when they dip it in the lard with the cayenne pepper floating in it, so it comes out with that like crazy bright red, like glowing red kind of color, and it's like sopping with the grease. I don't want to the problem with the hot chicken we had before was so hot, but you couldn't even see it on there. Like I want to see it and like have that like drippy texture and like I want to know I want to know why this is happening to me. Like I want to see the pepper spray canister. I don't I'm like I need to know where it's coming from. All right, next one, overrated, underrated, live music.
I'm gonna say correctly rated, because in Nashville, if you are a live music fan, there is no better place, I don't think. But I think that I think Nashville has gotten away from true country. It's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot more.
I'm gonna disagree. Yeah. I'm gonna disagree with you.
All right.
I think there is many better places to see live music in Nashville than Nashville. I would put my number one is New Orleans. I put New Orleans number one for live music. I would put Austin ahead of. I would even possibly put Fort Worth ahead of Nashville for the reason you said, because it's just all rock covers.
Yeah,
it's all rock covers here. And then I would put like a I would even put Daisy. I'd even put like maybe a Miami or something for like a Latin jazz, Latin salsa.
It depends on what you're looking for.
No, I was talking about like Latin, like playing like Tito Puente type stuff, like kettle drums and like congas and like.
But that's the thing, right? It depends on what you're looking for.
Trumpets.
In New Orleans, you're gonna get your jazz and blues. You're gonna get your Austin. You're gonna get some of your country and other stuff. Nashville is theoretically country, but you're gonna get a lot of pop and rock and stuff too.
Now the place we went to last night, the listening room, was by far the best place in Nashville I saw music at. I would say it would be one of my top 5 venues too, except it was a little quiet in the back. I
was.
needed to be up front. They could have turned those mics up a little
A
bit.
little bit, yeah. That was the only gripe, but it was a great
Yeah,
show.
I needed to hear it. I needed to feel it in my bones a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the old fashions were too sweet. I'm sorry. Anyway,
I'm telling you, I stand by Embassy Suites, whatever the bar is. I stand by that.
Embassy
That's the best I've ever
Suites.
had.
No more TVs.
That's called a hand cut. Hand cut is the
Hand cut.
bar at
That's the
Embassy
bar.
Suites. I've been here 3 days.
Best
I know
old
everything
fashioned
about
that
Nashville.
I've ever personally had.
And great live music too. Shout out
live
to
music.
Trinity over there,
Yeah,
who's
Trinity's
killing
great.
it over there. All right, you're doing well. You're doing well, Jake. Overrated, underrated, the Nashville Predators.
Severely overrated. Go St. Louis Blues.
All right.
And I will be in attendance at the game next Tuesday.
I generally don't support Predators either, so I agree with you.
Against the Stars. She didn't even
Yeah,
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
He was too busy talking.
yeah.
Overrated, underrated, Kid Rock's bar.
Depends on which floor.
Underrated. I enjoy Kid Rock. Out of all the big bars, that's the one I like to go to. I'm not a huge fan of Jason Aldean. I'm not a huge fan of Blake Shelton.
Well, is this the artist or the bar?
I think it's the bar.
The bar.
I think it's the bar. But they do have, every floor has great art. So
So we were on the roof. So the first floor of Kid Rock's bar is good. The second floor is great.
yep.
The third
The up
floor was
top.
closed. The fourth floor was closed. The fifth floor is the roof, which was okay
Pretty scenic.
until you close it down and you can't get out of
get
there.
out
They
of
start. They start.
Hundreds of people.
You feel like you're in a mouse maze, and they just start closing off random alleys like for no reason. Doors were closed. Stanchions were over here. We had to take the stairs down.
Yeah.
It was
Service was not nice.
service. They were not nice. They were stank faced about it.
Yep.
You know, they played a lot of Cranberries songs. Kid Rock's bar is all right. I like jelly rolls.
I haven't been.
Oh yeah, we gotta hit jelly rolls.
I haven't been.
Oh,
I did like, you know what?
That is my
Jill
favorite.
might have just.
Jill's
she might have
right.
Just gave the biggest underrated.
She
bar
out, she
on
out
there.
Nashed you just now.
She did. She
Yeah.
did out Nash me.
totally
I'm in agreement with that.
So-
I think the 1230 Club is the most underrated bar on Nashville on Broadway.
The 12:30. Yeah, and is it underrated or is it just
Unknown.
dope and nobody goes there because it's
I,
expensive
I, I think
Yeah.
I had
It's
no idea
swanky.
it was Justin Timberlake's bar. I think people just don't know.
and they don't know it's JT's bar.
They don't.
Yeah, which is kind of cool actually because like when you go down the street and you're like, oh, Dirk Bentley's bar, you're like, meh. All right, keep moving.
Yeah.
Like what happens when they like peak and like nobody's checking? Jason Aldean, right? Like he was super hot for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, you know Morgan Wallen's gonna be on that train soon.
Yep.
He's gonna be on that Jason Aldean train soon. You know, if you don't get it together, stop going to Alabama, roll
Stop throwing chairs off of roofs. out
You know
here,
what I'm
man.
saying?
You know what
Out
I'm saying?
here. Anyway, one more overrated, underrated.
Lay it on me.
Overrated, underrated. These Nashville pedal pubs.
About to say this. They're everywhere.
I think one's parked out there, maybe. I
They
don't
are
know.
everywhere.
Have you ever done one?
No, I will never. That's not on my bucket list. To me, drinking copious amounts of alcohol along with pedaling and exercising all day does not seem like a great combination.
So let me tell you a little secret. Let me tell you a secret. They got motors in these things, so you don't actually have to pedal, right?
But they
I've
do
checked this
anyway.
out. But you do because people are idiots,
Right.
So they do it. But you know the real thing about it that sucks? There's no back. You're on a stool and there's no back to the chair. I need to lean back. I need to laid back. You know, I'm drinking out here. I need to lean back. You know.
I do not want to pedal. if I'm
Yeah,
drinking.
yeah. Overrated. Don't get me on one of those. Don't call me up for your bachelor party. Be like, we're going paddle popping. No.
Nah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
All right, this is awesome, Jake. Thanks so much for being here, man.
Glad to be here.
Jack, you know what? Jack's got we got a couple questions. Jack said, do they play ball with the ball to bind at midnight?
That's one for you.
No, they did not, Jack. Well, I don't recall. But it was cool. They did have a guy singing on the bar, which was kind of cool. Jack says, which bar would you recommend the most out of all of them if visiting with friends? First bar to go to in Nashville. With friends. How old are these friends, Jack? What's the
Yeah, we need
context?
details here.
Is this a batch party or is this
Yeah, because the Justin Timberlake, I would recommend that, but that's a little high end.
Yeah.
For Nashville. But
That's a-
I mean, I don't know. I took you. I guess I'll stick with the stage. That's where I took you
the
guys.
stage was dope.
Stage was dope.
And it was cheap.
No, I would say,
Yeah.
well, it's not a bar, but the listening room is.
The listening room is what Jill says. So Jack, if you're
But
looking
is that
for,
a good place for friends? Because it's not it's not really a talkative.
well, it's quiet enough you could talk.
That's true.
I mean, I think, well, stage you can't talk for
That's
shit.
true.
The
Well, you can
stage.
scream.
Yeah, you can scream, zombie,
all we
zombie.
need. Yeah, that's all we need.
Yeah, I think the stage is a great one.
Yeah.
It's accessible. It's on Broadway. It's easy. Like you walk right in. There's no cover. You know, he's got the upstairs aspect to it. The music quality, music's fantastic. The stage, I think, is the best typical Broadway bar
Yes.
to go to. Upscale, definitely 12:30. Best music, if you're really into the music vibe, go to the listening room. Hear those songwriters play their own songs,
Yeah.
tell the stories
Tell
behind them.
stories.
Super cool. Great question, Jack, and an even better answer. Jack says 22 to 24, they won't see the place and get a feel for it. I owe them a trip. Oh, they're
Okay,
22,
so
24.
Youngins, man,
Oh,
that's
snap.
more of a Kid Rock.
That's
Jason
no,
Aldean's,
Morgan Wallen's bar.
Morgan
Because the
Wallen.
line out front of Morgan Wallen's of all the little bachelorette, all the little girlies out there for
Yeah,
your boys over
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're gonna have a time, boy.
There's a Barstool bar as well. It's a little bit off the
Oh,
beaten
really?
path, but it's a good spot. Barstool. It's
Yeah.
like a lockdown.
Yeah.
Off Broadway.
Yeah, Jack, you can't go wrong down here. I say just come when when it's warm enough, not too hot. Like this is really a nice time of
This is
year.
Perfect weather. Perfect weather.
Yeah, Jack, you can have a good time, Jack, and you're gonna be the tallest person on Broadway.
Absolutely.
No problem, Jack. Hit me up anytime. Hey, this is a lot of fun. Are we done here, y'all? All right, hit that like button, get in the comments, leave Jake some love. I really appreciate y'all. We are going to be doing this again tomorrow. We got a full slate of movers and shakers for you. Get in the comments and let us know how we did. Thanks a lot, Jake. It's great to see you, buddy.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, bro. Take care. See you tomorrow, y'all.